So welcome to my home kitchen. Today I'm going to be doing a recipe that I cook a lot in our house. It's one of our very favourites, so it makes sense to share it with everybody so other people can cook it too. It's perfect when you've got a glut of tomatoes, aubergines, onions. You can even substitute the aubergines for courgettes or do half and half, which is what I've done. And you can mix other things in if you wanted to, like peppers and lots of other things. But I'm going to show you what I'm doing today. So first of all, this is what we're baking. It's an Aubergine Parmigiana, if I pronounce that correctly. Now this is from a River Cottage book, the River Cottage Veg book. Mine is a slight adaptation of that recipe, but I do highly recommend this book, and I will put a link in the description if you want to get it. If you've not already subscribed to my channel, if you could please do so, because you'll get lots of helpful hints and tips all throughout the year, not only from my home kitchen but also from my allotment and my home garden. Now the first thing I need to do is I need to turn my oven on. So the setting in the book says gas mark for 180. So I'll do that first so that it's warming up like so. Now the recipe calls for you to make your tomato sauce yourself. Now, I'm not making the tomato sauce from scratch here because I've made a passata recipe, and so I'm using the passata I've already made. So if you've not made that and you want to make that, then obviously we're going to put a link so you can make that video. Perfect for a glut of tomatoes. So my homemade passata is the base for this. We will put a full recipe in there if you've not got your own passata, but for this recipe I'm going to be using the passata I've already made up. Now that's all in there. All I've added to that is I've fried up 2 onions which I've mixed into the already made passata, and I did put a tin of tomatoes in with that as well. You need about 1.5 litres to 2 litres of tomato sauce to make this recipe. So if you've not got quite enough of the homemade passata, then just add a tin of tomatoes or a tin of passata that you've bought from the store. So that's already mixed in there. What I've also done is I've cooked up some aubergines. I've sliced them, I've cooked them in some extra virgin olive oil. You don't have to cook them till they're really soft, but just so they've got a little bit of give in them, because they're going to cook a little bit more when they go into the oven. I've obviously seasoned my tomato sauce with salt and pepper. I've got 2 balls of mozzarella there. And I've also got some hard cheese. Again, you can, if you've got different cheese in your fridge, use that cheese, but this is what I love. I actually like the mozzarella in there. If you like goat's cheese, buy goat's cheese. It's really your choice. So first of all, we've obviously turned the cooker on, and the first thing you do is just lay a layer of the cooked aubergines. So this is an incredibly easy recipe, and we cook this a lot. We have it just on its own, you know, as a main dish with maybe just some rice or some bread, or sometimes I make it and I put things with it, so I use it as a side dish. So it's really, really versatile and really, really yummy. Like I say, it's one of our favourites in our house. We make this on a regular basis. So 1 layer of aubergines, so you then just top it with the tomatoes, like so. So like I say, it couldn't be easier. So if you've not made the tomato passata recipe, it is well worth it, because it is such a fantastic base for a whole host of recipes. Far superior than anything you could buy in a jar, in my opinion, because roasting all the tomatoes yourself gives it the most amazing flavour. So then we just put some of the cheese on. So we just either break the cheese or slice it and just dot the cheese over it. Like so. This is so super easy. Once you've got everything made up, it is just an assembly job. It really is. So it is really, really lovely. You don't eat a lot of aubergines. They are quite a filling. If you don't eat meat, it's something that really is a staple for most people. I do actually eat meat, but I do, as you can imagine, having an allotment, eat an awful lot of vegetarian dishes. So So that's that, and then we just layer up again. So really simple. You do about 3 layers of aubergines, basically until you run out really of sauce and or aubergines. So again, it's super easy. And like I said, I do sometimes do a mixture of courgettes and aubergines, usually for the fact that I've normally got far more courgettes than I do aubergines. So I'm finding excuses to use up everything I've got. So this year I have a glut of aubergines as well. In fact, I've got more aubergines at the moment than I've got courgettes, so it's the opposite way around to what it normally is. So I think this dish is just about going to be big enough to fit my 3 layers in. So I've done all my layers. As you can see, I've only just squeezed it all in there. It's not a bad thing. So I'm just going to dot the remaining cheese over the top. If I'm honest, I could have been a bit more sparing with the cheese throughout the dish, but it'll still be perfectly lovely. So like that, and then just grate a little bit of hard cheese over the top. And we are done. Now all we need to do is put it in the oven for about 45 minutes. Getting towards the end of my block here, so it's a bit more of a struggle to get the cheese on. I like a nice bit of cheese, I don't know about anyone else. Definitely like to be able to taste it all over the edges as well. There we go, so all I need to do now is pop it in the oven. So like I said, this is set to gas mark 4 or 180, I need to check. There we go, and I'll just pop it in there. Although this is going in my grill, this is on the oven setting, not the grill setting, in case anyone's confused by that. So you just leave that in there for about 45 minutes. So the bake has had just over 45 minutes, so let's take a look. And definitely needed a slightly bigger dish. That was a good job I put it in there, but there you go. Absolutely perfect. Now, I do hope that has inspired you to do this recipe, and if you do it, let me know what you think.